Dude, that is, wow. That's bad, bro. That's fucking bad, boss. I mean, I have to keep reporting on this because we need to sink these guys. We need to be vigilant. If we let TYT exist, they're going to sabotage 2026. They're going to sabotage 2028. Like, we have to actively dismantle them. Just like the Vanguard is doing, we have to actively dismantle these motherfuckers because they're using their voice in a way that is sabotaging our chance at winning another election.
DOGE apparently is not having a great time in the federal courts.
No, they're not.
I can't wait to see what DOGE will do when the government is shut down. If the government shuts down, the amount of things that you can do that where the traps just open up, where they can just cut even further than they already are, you'll find out, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
How many people are enough for you to get fired? What's your goal? How many tens of thousands do you want just fired?
Can we start with half?
Dude, look at this guy, dude. What a fucking weirdo. Half of the government would be 1 million unemployed people. Like, what the fuck would those people do, bro? And look at him. He's like so happy. Like he's going to jerk off to the idea of 1 million people being jobless. What the fuck is this? What are these guys' deal, bro? What did these government workers ever do to these assholes?
That was conservative Ben Dominic of...
She's laughing at it. She's like, hee. Oh, look at how funny he is. Oh,
just rejoicing of the possibility of DOGE firing half of the federal workers. And
why is she smiling?
And in that scenario, there would be a government shutdown, right? If there would be a government shutdown, it would allow DOGE to kind of step in and fire even more of these federal workers. Now, the House of Representatives did just pass a continuing resolution. We'll see if it passes in the Senate. So we might avert a government shutdown altogether. However, a federal judge did just deal a pretty big blow to DOGE. And it's...
Did you see though how she acknowledged that the guy was rejoicing, but she herself was smiling, but she didn't say any, this is the Progressive News Network. And she's covering the DOGE, like the guy rejoicing at cutting 1 million workers, which is going to affect all kinds of states. And she's like, oh yeah, he's rejoicing, but no commentary about the move, the people being unemployed, what that's going to do to the economy, the constitutionality of what DOGE is doing. No commentary from her. There's no commentary from her about this from the Progressive News Network. Now, let's see. We are at 56 minutes, 45 seconds. Let's see how long she goes into this before she turns this onto the Democrats. She is going to somehow turn this into a Democrat slam. I feel like it's coming, bro.
Desire to remain pretty secretive about what it's doing behind the scenes. Now, look, there's this facade of transparency, right? The website that Elon Musk launched, where you see the receipts of how much money DOGE is saving the American people. We've reported on the inaccuracies found bullshit on that website. They're not really receipts. It's all sorts of misinformation, to be honest with you. But if we want the actual receipts, well, we should have reporters who do Freedom of Information Act requests, and DOGE actually hands over the documents.
Now, it's interesting because Ana's a reporter, so Ana could do a Freedom of Information request, right? That could be something the TYT, the Progressive News Network, you would think would be on top of this, right? All right, but no, she's like, oh, yeah, none of these reporters are looking into this. And yeah, I'm the head of the Progressive News Network, not looking into it.
Now, as for the Trump administration, the judge did skewer the way they litigated this case. So the lawyers offered little to no evidence to back up their arguments about DOGE's operations or management. Now, remember, the Trump administration was trying to make it seem as though DOGE wasn't some government agency and that Elon Musk wasn't the head of DOGE, even though it's obvious that's the case. Now, final thing that I'll say about this is, funny enough, Donald Trump did kind of moderate his messaging in regard to the firing of federal workers last week. He said something along the lines of, we want to use a scalpel. Okay, we want to use a scalpel. My cabinet officials are going to be making.
Again, look at what she's doing. We just watched that guy who was reveling in the people there. They want to cut half. They cut more of the Department of Education today, and she's going back to the whole. But Donald Trump says we really need to be careful about this. Like
the decisions on which federal workers will be fired, rather than just letting Elon Musk take a hatchet to it. Well, according to The Atlantic, the comments that you're about to hear from 𝗣𝗎𝗪 of all people is part of the reason why Donald Trump decided to put out that message. Let's watch.
Let me tell you a story about Chris. Chris was a guy I met at a shooting event in New Jersey last year.
Was Chris on the interview? Oh, this is another guy. This is Chris.
He was a 20-year veteran of the U.S. military. He was one of these guys in one of these elite units. Killed a lot of bad guys. Put his life on the line. And now he punched out after 20 years and working for the Pentagon. And he's only been there a few months, so he's probationary. And he just found out he's probably going to get laid off. He's going to get doged. And he texted me and he said, 𝗣𝗎, this isn't good. I'm upset. This is really sad. And this guy's not a DEI consultant. This guy's not a climate consultant. This guy is a veteran.
You see,
so when you're talking about,
you see this shit, how it has nothing to do with slimming the government. It has to do with them trying to get a particular style of people out of the government, non-Trumpies, and protecting all the Trumpies. But yeah, dude, progressive journalism is now not even taking these people to task.
Doging people. Veterans should get priority. We just need to be a little bit less callous with the way, Harold, we talk about doging people.
So I'm just going to say for a second that I'm very jealous that in my lifetime, we haven't had a Democratic president who responds to his constituents, to his supporters, to pundits in the media. I mean, you criticize a Democratic president, as, by the way, Cenk did.
There it is. All right, dude, 7 minutes. It only took 7 minutes, almost to the minute, where, again, she did not take DOGE to task. She covered for Trump. She then goes to this fucking 𝗣𝗎𝗪 saying, oh yeah, we found out a non-wokey got doged, so I'm going to go like lean on Trump. This is just like buddy, crony fucking government. And she has somehow arrived with like, well, at least the president is listening to his constituents because we've never had a Democratic president do that. And insert personal Cenk grievance. Oh, dude, she is fucking disgusting, bro. That is unfucking believable. And that is the state of progressive Ana Kasparian journalism, ladies and gentlemen. 7 minutes, bro. I mean, frankly, I gotta say, I'm a little surprised it took 7 minutes. Although, to be fair, like 4 of those 7 were her reading like meaningless legal documents while she doesn't at all have any sort of opinion. The progressive journalist is not upset or riled up. I mean, she gets more riled up by Emma Vigeland calling her out on something than she does by the fascists putting a fist right up our fucking ass. But holy shit.
During Obama's first term.
Oh, and we got Obama. Not only did she turn it around on Democrats and bring out the personal Cenk grievance, but she got to lay in on the black man as well. Here we go.
I'm very jealous that in my lifetime, we haven't had a Democratic president who responds to his constituents, to his supporters, to pundits in the media. I mean, you criticize a Democratic president, as, by the way, Cenk did during Obama's first term. Like, you want to talk about audience backlash today because I don't know, because people think I'm a Trump supporter, even though I do 2.5 hours on this show every day criticizing him. But no. What we're experiencing now is nothing compared to what Cenk experienced in Obama's first term when he was accurately reporting on what Obama was up to. The backlash was fierce.
Oh, yeah, dude. Something tells me the backlash is gonna get more fierce for TYT before it's done.
Expected to be as loyal as possible. Don't ever criticize. And by the way, it was a bottom down messaging thing, right? Cenk was moved. They tried to move Cenk from a primetime MSNBC spot to a weekend spot.
Yeah, they fucking canned him. Why? Because he's just not that good. I mean, I wasn't around when Cenk did MSNBC, but I can tell you, having watched a bunch of Cenk lately, the guy's just not that good. He's kind of offensive in many sort of ways. And like, I don't think he's a primetime host. He doesn't have the primetime host ability, not by a fucking long shot. Not by a long shot. It's
because he wouldn't
phony.
change his tone on Obama. He was still critical of Obama. Now, in this case, you have Jessie Waters, who's clearly critical of what Trump was allowing Elon Musk to do. And
Jessie Waters didn't mention Trump at all there. He was not critical of Trump. He was just saying maybe we shouldn't DOGE. Like, maybe we should not DOGE the non-wokies.
Hiring all of these federal workers. And according to The Atlantic, Trump watched the clip.
Something tells me that when Cenk was at MSNBC, he was a lot more vocally anti-Obama than, oh, maybe we should DOGE a little less hard.
Asked his advisors if that sentiment that was expressed by Jessie Waters was resonating with his base of supporters.
Yeah, that seems like something Trump would say, doesn't it? Did you hear what she just said? Trump watched Jessie Waters, heard the DOGE thing, and then he said, hey, advisors, is this sentiment that Jessie Waters just displayed on Fox here, is this resonating with my voter base, that they feel like I've let DOGE get too out of control? Are my voters resonating with this? Dude, that's about as likely as a fucking, you know what I'm saying? As like cockroaches, like leaving food behind. Like, what is she talking about? There's no fucking way Trump said, hey guys, is Jessie Waters resonating with our base?
Ultimately, he felt that it was resonating with his base of supporters, which is why he put out that message that kind of moderated what he intended to do with federal workers. He says, I have instructed the secretaries and leadership to work with DOGE on cost-cutting measures and staffing. As the secretaries learn about and understand the people working for the various departments, they can be very precise as to who will remain and who will go. We say the scalpel rather than the hatchet.
Dude, who wrote this? Who wrote this? Trump did not write that. But again, she's covering for Trump.
Biden's administration was protested over the fact that he was unwilling to use leverage in the form of withholding weapons to Israel if, Israel.
And here she goes. Now she's on Biden bad. Dude, we have now had a 5-minute rant. We've got fascism from Donald Trump in every facet. And then we've had a 5-minute rant about Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. That, wow, way to go, Progressive News Network. You're really taking the fascists to task with that 5-minute rant. Wow, dude, that is crazy, bro. But I called it. I knew that was where we were headed. She does a report on DOGE. She does a report on DOGE being fascist, ignoring the law. She does a report on DOGE unconstitutionally being involved with cutting agencies. She does a report on crony government with, Jessie Waters being like, wait, a non-woke guy got cut. We need to mention that to Trump. And she turned it into Trump good. Trump listened to his voters. Oh, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, anointed and bad. And the Democratic Party is terrible. That's our Progressive News Network. Every single thing they mention It's like they're not even calling out the fascism of the Trump fucking regime. They are literally trying to say Trump's not that bad. And oh my God, look at how he's responsive to his voters. The Democrats never did that. Cenk didn't get MSNBC. Dude, that was like 10 fucking years ago, bro. And I mean, we can all look at Cenk and see he doesn't deserve MSNBC. The guy's a shit fucking interviewer, bro. Even when he gets mad, it seems fake. He's like laughable. They're both fucking fake, bro. We need to sink these guys. If we let TYT exist, they're going to sabotage 2026. They're going to sabotage 2028. Like, we have to actively dismantle them. Just like the Vanguard is doing, we have to actively dismantle these motherfuckers because they're using their voice in a way that is sabotaging our chance at winning another election. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.